I situate the phial on a tray and return to the hearth, where my more innocent elixirs are boiling. The largest cauldron holds an elderberry infusion to counteract headaches. The one beside it contains a watercress and fennel seed hunger tonic, which we distribute to the beggars on the Rue du Temple when the rutting Sun King fails to issue rations. And the hanging copper teapot brims with a valerian root extract that smooths even the deepest wrinkles. A little something for everyone. That's the Shadow Society's promise. And Mother will have my head if her order isn't ready by sunup, when her consultations begin. Which will be any moment now, judging by the pale gray light streaming through the shutters, casting ladder-like shadows across the floor. My heart leaps into my throat, and my hands flutter like frantic birds as I dash from pot to pot. I was so absorbed with the aqua tofana I paid little heed to everything else. I dip a finger into the plum-colored elderberry infusion and wince, still cold and clotted. And when I peek inside the copper teapot, a sticky, sour-smelling syrup spatters my face. Merde! I can already hear Mother hissing her customary diatribe. Don't you care for the cause, Mirabelle? For the people of this city? Who will succor them if we do not? Surely not the glorious Sun King. If it were left to him, the better half of the kingdom would die of pox and he'd be glad of it. Then he could reallocate the funds he uses to put moldy bread in our bellies, to build more gilded palaces like that monstrosity at Versailles. Mother's intensity may be overwhelming, but her goals are admirable. We are the saviors of Paris. And if I want her to respect me and trust me and welcome me into her inner circle, I must prove I am more responsible than Father. Grey! I need the watercress now! I bellow over my shoulder. He's hunched over the ancient clawfoot table in the center of the room, furiously chopping herbs. The laboratory isn't large. It's a one-room garden house with crooked shelves built into the stone walls, but it's more chaotic than a battlefield. Curtains of steam hover about our heads, thick as cannon smoke, and the rumble of the bubbling cauldrons sound like 100 marching feet. I can hardly hear myself think. I cup my hands around my mouth to call out again, but Gree leans over me and sweeps the herbs into the appropriate pots. Then we stand there, watching, as the bubbles devour the tiny particles.
I added a pinch of butterbur to the elderberry infusion, he says. It should come into effect twice as quickly, and 3 sprigs of rosemary to the wrinkle salve. Now it doesn't smell like feet.
Good, good. I reach for my stirring spoon and expect Gree to do the same, but he thumbs the cutting board and continues to peer into the cauldrons.
Do you think she'll notice?
No. Mother never notices the improvements we make to her drafts. But I can't bring myself to say this. Not with Gree standing there looking so hopeful and earnest, with his cinnamon eyes peeking out from beneath his sandy mop of hair. He's the most imposing person I know. A good head taller than me and built like an ox. But where Mother is concerned, he will always be a skinny, orphaned 8-year-old, desperate to prove she did right by taking him in. I seize Gree's goggles from the hook by the hearth and fling them at his chest. He yelps and scrabbles to catch the scrap.
What was that for?
A watched pot never boils. You know that? And if we fail to finish these drafts before Marguerite arrives, Mother will definitely notice that. I tighten my own goggles for emphasis. Gree glances once more at the pots, then quickly out the window at the house before finally donning his eyewear. Like 2 parts of a well-oiled machine, we fall into the easy rhythm of our work. He whisks the curls away from my face when I lean forward to grind herbs, and I dab the sweat from his brow while he stirs the cauldrons. After more than a decade of toiling side by side, his arms feel like an extension of my own. We know what the other needs without having to utter a word. We're so consumed with our alchemy, I scream and Gree bangs his head against the hanging pots when the laboratory door flies open. Must you barge in here like a brigand?